Awakening on the spiritual path always involves that moment where your unification with something inside of yourself, a person, place, or circumstance, comes into that cohesion of wholeness once again. Whereas before, perhaps a fragment, a disappointment, something from the past has caused that phenomena that we have called separation consciousness to arise. And so as we speak of the spiritual path, we are always speaking of divine union. In fact, the very word yoga means union, and in the process of treading the royal path and the path of divine Raja, we're always talking about the logic of love, which is always the experience of union, and that which unifies, and that which unifies, and that which unifies yet again, and again, and again, and again, within oneself, you see. And so often I'm asked the questions, well, what about marriage? What about a life partner? What about soul partners and things of that nature? And so what I have to speak to you about is that divine union must always be found within oneself. And that doesn't mean that the love between two individuals cannot be a phenomenally powerful thing that deeply heals the wounds of the past, the samsaras and so forth, particularly when two individuals, whether it's husband and wife or mother and child or partner in light or partner in some sort of service endeavor, truly do take that moment, that pause. For when a tension point arises, some divine dilemma arises, a difficulty arises, that the go-to is that place of love, that place of unifying with the other to the degree that you have empathy, you have compassion, and therefore the oneness that is the truth of the enlightened state prevails. The oneness envelops all that is other, all that is dilemma, all that is problem or tension point, you see. And union affords that arising divine Raja, that moment of pure logic, pure awareness, and all is well. All has found its peace, you see, of the perfect Raja logic that definitely, without any question, without any doubt, without any misgiving or mistrust, satisfies that innermost need, that longing for divine union. And so there's always the wisdom of seeking union within oneself, the inner king and queen of the royal heart, if you will, the inner divine feminine, divine masculine, if you will. For when there is two beloveds, whether husband and wife, whether lover and beloved, whether friend and friend or co-worker or family members, when there is that dropping into the heart, that taking a moment just to pause in the principle of love, in the heart space of love, it is then that even extreme differences can be returned to the unity and the purpose that those differences might have served in awakening yet a greater expanse of consciousness, of awareness, will indeed arise into the awareness through the miracle of epiphany, understanding, or realization. And so what I would say to you also is that there is a deep, deep, deep place within the heart. The inner sanctum wherein the Satguru, if you will, the divine Godhead lives within each of us. And although this has often been buried, it is in a latent state rather than an awakened state, if the cultural influences, the societal influences, and all the things of your past as yet prevails with the ego mind's continual conundrum, if you will, of repetitious mind chatter. However, within that brilliance of inner light, that deep, deep, deep place of divine union within yourself, it is there that the longing becomes still, becomes satisfied of divine union, becomes quenched of its thirst, and longs no more. And you then become the wellspring of divine love and divine union. And that miracle of divinity, that continuum of the unity of the oneness, is the orb, the aura, the state of being from which you live. And so I would also say to all of you who long for other, and this is not to say that purposeful relationship does not serve a very great illumination in the world. It surely does. But there is a place within the heart, the innermost sanctum, that truly, solely belongs to God, to divinity, to your ultimate selfhood, and that can never be given to anything outside of yourself. And so what causes so much grief, so much disappointment, when individuals seek love outside of oneself, or seek partnership, union, seek the ultimate embrace of the divine through another being. And we have unconsciously displaced that union within upon someone else. It is then that we subtly expect that person to become our God. And you are expecting someone other than yourself to fill the gaps of your divine memory, to fill the gaps of your longing, to quench your thirst for union. And this indeed places undue responsibility on someone or something, some person, place, or thing, or group, or endeavor to satisfy that deep place of divine union within yourself. And so when you hold true to the inner sanctum of the royal heart, when you hold true to that deepest place, if you will, of divine union within yourself, it is then that you experience life, that you experience others from that state of peaceable union, where the longing is quenched. And it is then that you become the wellspring. You become the emanation of divine love and divine unity. And when two or more are gathered in my name, in that divine union, then a new divine life is formed of its own. And so when two people enter into the promise, the oath, the marriage vow, the decision, the agreement to work towards a common goal or a common endeavor, it is then that a new life springs up, that is a oneness, that is a singularity of higher purpose, as two enter that point of purpose, if you will. That place where union itself, where divine union itself is the surrender to which all are committed. It is then that a new life naturally arises, whether two individuals has entered this place of surrender, or rather an entire organization or group has entered this place of always surrendering. No matter what the dilemma that arises, no matter what the tension point, no matter what the playing out of Layla or polarity might be, to that commitment to union, the yoga of union, the Raja of unity, the Raja of love. It is then that the power of union and oneness and love arises naturally when you are committed to union, when you have placed that search, that longing, that responsibility, if you will, to find that ultimate union within yourself, and to have that peaceable kingdom of the divine, if you will, to be your indwelling illumination of presence. It is then that indeed all relationships with everyone becomes merely the dance of the divine, the Layla of the divine, the beauty of experience of life as it is on its own terms. And so may all union be blessed, may marriages be blessed, may partnerships of all kinds be blessed, and may the ultimate oneness that brings harmony on earth from harmony within ever be that unto which we each surrender. 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 And by your surrender, so too, union will envelop you in its grace of being.